What's up, y'all? Alex Toledo, Flex Toledo, Tex Toledo, whatever you want to call me, man. I'm back here at it again. And I know it's been a long time. I haven't made a video in a long time, whatever. But today, it marks, let's see. Yeah, today marks the 6th month of me owning my Rolex right here. And yeah, man, I just kind of wanted to tell you guys the story behind, why I wanted a Rolex and how I got it and this and that. So, let's get to it, because I feel like this video is important, you know what I mean, just for my own values in the video or whatever, because it was a long time coming for me to get this and, to actually want it and strive out to get it and all this. So, I'm just going to tell you guys how that happened. So, first things first, I bought this with my own hard-earned money. I saved up for a long time. I wasn't even expecting to get a watch, but it kind of came out of nowhere, and I'll tell you guys about it. But like I said, first things first, I worked hard for my money. I paid for it myself. I'm not a spoiled kid. Everything I have, I've worked hard on my own to get it. It was and definitely not something that was a light purchase. It was definitely something that I considered and thought about, took into consideration all that, and then I went on and bought it. So, enough with that. Let's hear about how this came to be right here. So, I'm just going to kind of keep this in frame somehow so then you guys don't get bored of me talking. But, basically, my wants for a Rolex, like when I first ever wanted a Rolex, I was probably 15 years old, and probably 15 I first knew about Rolex, or I probably knew about them before that, but really when I started kind of watching videos and seeing why watches are special and how they work and stuff like that, it always kind of fascinated me, especially Rolex, because the brand is so big. But yeah, I just remember being a kid hearing it in songs, Rolex, Rolly, whatever, put rollies in the sky, wave them side to side, just hearing mentions about Rolex, and then I started looking into it, seeing how cool they were and why they were so expensive and everything behind them. But yeah, I remember the first Rolex I ever wanted was a 16223, which is it's like a 90s Datejust with it's two-tone. It's like gold champagne dial. I really like the Roman numerals on it. And I remember being 16, 17 years old looking at this watch on eBay, and it was it was from 25 to 3,200, 2,500 to about 32, 35,000 US dollars. And back then, obviously, even just like right now, it's a lot of money. I'd never had that money saved up like that, especially just to buy one piece of jewelry, like a watch or something like that. I never thought of something like that. When I was younger, I'd save up my money and buy, gold chains, which are cool too. But, I'd go for something a little more achievable at that level. But I was always looking at Rolex, always looking. That started at 15, 16, alright? I was looking at the two-tone. I liked it a lot. As I got older, I kind of started, looking more into it, the two-tone. I don't know, I'll talk more about that later. But anyway, how this deal came to be, man. I was saving up, as much money as I could. I did this routine where I would get paid every other week. And our bill cycle comes every month. So with my checks, what I would make in 2 weeks, I was able to cover my whole month's worth of bills. So I would put away my whole month's worth of bills with every check, even though I'm not paying the bill, but I'm putting it away as if it's already spent. So I had some money saved up from that, just doing that, and I was doing that, not really striving for anything. I was just trying to save money. And my older brother, Justin, I gotta thank him, man. Without him, this definitely would not have been possible at all. So, one day it's nighttime, I'm just hanging out on the couch in my house, and my brother tells me, he's like, telling me about his day, and he tells me that he sold a Rolex today. My brother, his occupation is he's a salesman, but he doesn't sell anything like watches. He sells phones and gadgets and devices like that. So when he said he sold a Rolex, I was kind of interested. I was like, "What do you mean you sold a Rolex?" My brother knows me, knows how much I've been into Rolex since I was 15, 16. I was like, "Justin, show me the Rolex you sold." And I was kind of giving him grief, like, "Why didn't you tell me about Rolex?" You know what I mean? You never know. So he's kind of like, "Oh, like, and he shows me on his phone. He's like, "Yeah, it sold right away. He sold it on eBay. He sold this exact watch on eBay for a friend of his, and the eBay total, the guy paid $2,500 for this watch, and I think it might have even been less, but let's just say 2,500. And looking at the watch, I just knew already that Rolex had gone up since I last looked in 2014, 2013, 15. I was looking and I saw every year the prices would increase on that two-tone 16233 that one. It kept going up and up in price. As I kept getting older, it kept going up in price, and I was like, never gonna get this thing. So I knew that the Date Justice had gone up in value more than 2,500, even the not like the non two-tone versions. So so I was giving him grief, why'd you sell it? I would have bought it for, da da da. He tells me that his friend was only looking for $1,800 and that my brother was pocketing the rest of this. I was giving him grief saying that I would have paid that much. So he tells me, if you really want it that bad, I can cancel, the sale on eBay and, just give it to you and you give me the cash. And I was thinking hard about this. I was like, 1,800, that's a lot. I'm not trying to spend $1,800. I didn't wake up planning to spend this money. But when it's a deal that good, it's like you can almost justify it. So that's kind of what was in my head. I was like, 1,800, wow. And I kind of felt bad, because my brother's like, wait. I sold this for 2,500. eBay's probably gonna take 300, 250 for their whole transaction fees and everything. But the guy only wanted 18, so my brother was probably gonna pocket, $300-400. So, I told him, since you're doing this for me, I'm definitely gonna throw you a little bit of change. You know what I mean? I'll give you like $200, so just make it $2,000 flat. And your friend will be happy, you'll be happy, and I'll be happy. So that was the original plan. What ended up happening was I got in contact with his friend. I got his phone number, and we were texting back and forth. Probably just like 2 or 3 conversations. And I told him I'm extremely interested, and I want to take a look at the watch. He tells me, he's at work, and he has no problem. I can come and take a look at the watch. So me being me, I go to the bank, and I have this on recording actually. I'll probably show you guys that. But I go to the bank, I take out, actually at this time it was over $2,000 because we were talking back and forth with him, and then he told me that he actually was looking for more than 18 or something like that. It made sense, alright? He wasn't trying to finesse me, but anyway, he said, I think like 23 is what he wanted, like 22 or 23. I come with cash, 22, 23, whatever, and I go to talk to him about it, and I'm looking at the watch, I'm talking to him, and I'm inside his little office in his store or whatever. I'm looking at the watch. I'm like, man, this thing is, just taking a look at it, seeing if anything's flunky about it, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. I'm looking at, trying not to show him that, I was that interested, and I'm like, you know what I mean? So he won't try to squeeze out some more money at me. He is looking at the cash that I have, and he is like, he's like very tempted to do it, but something's holding him back. And I was like, yeah, so, let's do the deal. I'm down for it. And then he kind of stops me, and he goes, whoa. I got this watch at the same time that I bought my wife's wedding band. And she was there too, I guess, and she contributed to some of you know, the wedding band, and basically they got a deal where they got a watch too. So this was basically a gift from his fiance, you could probably say, or his wife, fiance at the time. And I'm like, no, his man's wife just ruined the transaction for me to get a Rolex that I've always wanted. Are you kidding me?